And today we're with Mark Apelt on April 17th near Pandora, Ohio, revisiting some wheat fields that we'd looked at back in March. And today we're in our Becks wheat plot.
Yeah, and it's a very nice day. Wanted to show you guys a couple things of what we're seeing on wheat a little bit later in the growing season. And this has already been top dressed. But there's a few things that we wanted to show you, because in some of the fields, as you're just driving by them, sometimes you'll see some spots that look almost dead. So when you look at those spots and you look, you can see that you have a lot of carcasses that are there. And people are wondering, why do we see some of those carcasses? And this is one variety that we start to see some of this, and a lot of people will think that this might be winter kill, but it's actually not winter kill. And the reason that we can say that is you can see that we have plenty of carcasses there. They started to grow, and therefore we did actually have the plant. We can come over here to another variety, and we don't see that. Actually, what we see is that it actually, I believe it's this variety over here. So we start to take a look at this variety, and you don't see those carcasses. You actually see some differences. So people are starting to wonder, why do we see that on certain varieties and why don't we see that on other varieties? So one of the things that we wanted to point out is how there's differences between varieties. And one of the things one of the differences that you actually can see is you can see how the nodal root system, because wheat does have a nodal root system similar to corn, how the nodal root system formed in the fall versus how it's formed in the spring. So if we look at some varieties here and you compare these are two different varieties that we have. And sometimes you can see these older roots that really aren't holding much mud at all. They're very clean, they're more thin, they're more narrow. Those roots are actually roots that were formed in the fall. And when those roots are actually formed in the fall, that anchors the plant. So when we get more of that freezing and thawing that goes on in the spring, you don't have as much heaving that goes on. You can look at some of these other varieties that really don't have those older roots to them. They're more of the newer roots that formed in the spring. And if they didn't form in the fall, and we get more freeze-thaw cycles in the spring, these will actually have a tendency to heave up more. And that's the reason that you see some spots like we saw over here and other spots that we have over here.